Brian Dutcher began his collegiate coaching career in 1983 at the University of Illinois with a stop at South Dakota State before joining a Michigan staff that just happened to include Steve Fisher. Dutch has since been an indispensable part of success at Michigan, but more importantly, the dominant program that has been established at San Diego State. Dutch has a reputation as one of the finest recruiters in the country. This is easily justified as you look back at the recruiting classes that he's helped secure. Brandon Heath, Marcus Slaughter, DJ Gay, Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Franklin, and the list goes on. But Dutch also brings a great knowledge of the game of basketball, having grown up in a basketball family and evidenced by the success he's helped engineer throughout his career. 22 postseason appearances, 15 NCAA tournament berths, 3 Final Fours, 1 NCAA title. Continuity. I've said it before, and it is readily evident today that continuity is a key component of success. Today we transition to a new head coach, but we will not miss a beat. We have one of the best coaching staffs in the country, and they work together as well as any staff that I've had the privilege of working with. And with that, I expect our record of success to continue under the leadership of Brian Dutcher. I'm excited for Brian, wife Jan, daughters Erin and Liza as they embark on this next chapter in their life. It is now my pleasure to formally introduce Brian Dutcher, who does lose claim to the longest title in college basketball, but more importantly picks up the title that he has earned throughout a stellar career, head coach of San Diego State men's basketball. Brian Dutcher.
Obviously, I'm a good listener because I've been with Coach for 30 years and I've enjoyed the journey and I've smelled the flowers along the way. Just a quick little backstory about that White House visit. We had won the national championship and we're sitting in a staff meeting and the phone rings and it's the White House. Of course, we're instantly thinking this is a gag phone call. So Coach gets on the phone and he gets off. He says, they've invited me to a steak dinner. I said, Coach, I think they meant an estate dinner. And then Bill Frieder out here, who hired me for my first job. Bill was the head coach at Alpena High School. My dad was the head coach at Alpena Community College. And I got to know Bill, and his first job he gave me when I got to Michigan. He said, we're going on a European trip. You stay back, get acclimated. I'm going to fly Glenn Rice and Ramil Robinson back. Your only job is to get them to the airport. They have to go to the Olympic trials. And so this is obviously a time where there is no airport security. So they were on one flight. I was on another flight. I took them to the airport. I dropped them, hand-delivered them to the gate. I fly to Colorado Springs. I'm in there supposedly after them. I get off the plane, and they're waiting there. They go, where are Glenn Rice and Ramil Robinson? Well, they had oversold the flight, and like most ingenious young men, they took the cash and took a later flight. Well, needless to say, thank goodness Coach Frieder was in Europe with Coach Fisher. That was the start to my coaching career at Michigan. But they say the hardest distance to travel in basketball is that 18 inches from the assistant coaching chair to the head coaching chair. Well, it's taken me 18 years to travel that 18 inches here. And I want to just tell you how proud and happy I am to be the next head coach at San Diego State University. You know, it's a time to give thanks. And first of all, I'd like to thank Steve Fisher for being such a great boss and mentor and most importantly, a friend to me over all these years. You know, what better role model to have than Steve Fisher? I'd like to thank my wife, Jan, daughters Erin and Liza, both San Diego State graduates, and proud of it. I'd like to thank Jim Sturk, Sally Roush, and President Stephen Weber for giving me the longest title in basketball. Those 6 years ago when I was the associate head coach in waiting. And then I'd like to thank John David Wicker, Tom McCarron, and President Hirschman for making this day a reality. I want to especially thank my father, Jim Dutcher, who gave me the passion for the game in his many years of coaching at Alpena Community College, Eastern Michigan University, where he had George Gervin, the University of Minnesota. So I grew up around the game, and I saw the passion and the effort and the heartache it can give you. And obviously I went against my mom's better wishes and became a coach anyway. And I'm grateful to his influence over me. I always think it's strange and almost inevitable. When most coaches take over programs, the first thing they say is we're going to change the culture. Well, I'm here to say I'm going to do my best to maintain the culture of Aztec basketball. It's a culture of academic excellence. It's a culture of social responsibility. It's a culture of family first. And most importantly, it's a culture of winning basketball. And it's our charge as coaches and players to maintain that culture that Coach Steve Fisher has set up for us. He set us up for success. Now it's our responsibility to move forward, take the lessons he's given us, and keep the program moving forward. And when we first went into homes, they looked at us like we were crazy when we told them our goal is to go to a Final Four. And they looked at us and they thought, that's impossible. You've never hung one banner. But if you don't have that dream and you don't have that goal of doing it, you have no chance of achieving it. And so I will sit here today and say, even though Coach Fisher didn't get us there, I'm going to do my best with this group of players and the players to come to get us to a Final Four and have Coach Fisher and all of you with us. So that continues to be the goal of San Diego State basketball, to win games and make that improbable run, that hard run, to a Final Four. With that being said, I'd like to thank Coach Fisher for all he's done, his years of service to me and Aztec basketball,